next speaker, Randy. Randy, please join me on the stage here.
Hello.
Well, hello, Randy. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Pat.
Yeah.
You're gonna love seeing the connection between what you just said and Julian's recommendations and my presentation on feedback. It's a great
Okay.
lead-in.
Well, wonderful. Yeah. So officially, the talk is called Feedback Hacks for Your Product Launch. Okay, Randy, I'm gonna hop off the stage. I'll join you for a Q&A later.
Okay, I'm gonna try sharing now. I do not see the slides, but I'm hoping you do. Um, so the I'm going to talk to you today about some hacks for getting feedback during your product launch. And I'm going to use the terms insights, feedback, sort of interchangeably. And when I talk about customers, I'm also meaning prospects. I'm really talking about your target audience. I do not see my presentation, so I'm going to have to figure out. I can't advance at all. So I'm just going to keep going and hope that you can see. So I have created products in a number of different roles. I've led go-to-market teams from a marketing perspective, from a strategy perspective, and from a product perspective. I've run product teams as well. And I've worked across industries as well as sectors, worked in nonprofit and for-profit. And the products I've launched have been in primarily fintech, ad tech, and ed tech. I'm currently in the process of leaving Fundbox, though I'll use some very generic examples today from my time there. But what I've learned in all those roles across all those sectors is that, as you probably all know, your product should be grounded in customer needs and pain points. Your launch should definitely be paying attention to the commercial needs of your audience. And even if in the short term you're not so worried about profitability, you should always have an eye toward the long-term sustainability of the product. And you want to build the internal team, the company's energy and emotional connection to the launch to understand why they're doing this work. And you're going to have a more successful launch. And feedback speaks to all those elements. You're going to be able to test and use feedback to see where you are along all those elements, but also it's going to help you understand if you're doing what you set out to do and what you're going to do next. So feedback and insights matter, and they're going to come from everywhere. Similar to what Julian said, this is across the whole organization. There's not an insights or research team that is responsible for your insights. Everyone is gathering them. I want to encourage you. Scrappy is fine. You're looking for information to help you make decisions. Keep in perspective the quality and the quantity of the information you're getting, but making meaning from what you're getting is important. But the real message I want to tell you today is that intentionality is key. And I pulled a couple quotes from Bill Gates and Steve Jobs that really reinforce why understanding how the customer experience is going, what your customers, prospects are saying, are really essential to learning and successfully executing. So let's focus on pre-launch hacks. The first one I have for you is think ahead. So you're going to build a collection of feedback into your go-to-market plan. And what does that look like? You're going to be explicit and deliberate. What hypotheses are you testing? Where and how can you collect actionable data? And actionable is underlined because you're going to get a lot of information, but it's really, is it actionable? That's going to allow you to focus on what are the most meaningful insights you're getting. You should define what success looks like. What are you how much feedback do you need in order to make the decisions you're looking to make or to confirm those hypotheses? And be explicit about how you're going to socialize learning. At Fundbox, the way I made this happen is my go-to-market templates for each go-to-market plan actually included placeholders for feedback, right? Where's all the data coming from? What product analytics are we going to look at? where sales feedback is going to come from, etc. I also encourage you to be explicit about the execution requirements, and getting stakeholder buy-in into those. So, is RevOps going to create a field in the Salesforce record for you and for the sales team to capture specific data? Can they make easy, quick drop downs that are in the workflows of the team? And then how and where will people understand how things are going, where you're collecting all that information? And we used every channel available to us. In our case, it was Slack and Confluence. And then I had periodic insights meetings, almost open houses that anyone who wanted to come to could join and also contribute. Second hack is don't assume, and this speaks right to what Julian was saying. Get quick feedback before you build or as you're beginning to build. And so your learning mandate, build a prototype. You can use Google Slides. You can put a draft of your landing page up. And what you want to understand is, do they understand it? Can they use it? And would they use this product? This is going to be quick and dirty feedback. You're testing for misunderstandings, confusions, unexpected objection reasons. How it looked at Funbox, we did a quick usertesting.com test. We just picked 10 small business owners for an insights product we were releasing. I had a few quick questions on a discussion guide. I had a few slides with a mock-up. We walked people through it and did that with both product and UX. In fact, UX ran the interviews. And what came out of it is we were able to validate our messaging and our value props. We ended up actually changing the order and reinforcing some over the other. We uncovered areas of confusion. I got early pricing feedback, and this really speaks to, you're so close to the product, you lose sight. It seems so natural to you, and this really helps uncover those things that you can no longer pick up on yourself. Hack 3, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I want you to recruit trial customers for deep dives. And why you're going to do this? You're going to learn unique requirements for certain segments, which may be important to your launch or not, but it's really an opportunity to do that. You're going to get a head start on building reference customers. You're going to be able to mitigate risk with VIPs by partnering with them. So you bring them along with you to learn with you. Let them know that you so value their relationship, you want to learn alongside with them and ask for their help and partnership. And you're going to really have the opportunity to have speed, to have quick, deep insights by going back and forth and having this set of trial customers that are there for you. We did this with a payroll product we released, where each payroll system had a different set of requirements, and we were able to recruit trial customers that were using the most common payroll systems and actually go through the experience with them. We gave them a large incentive. We set commitments of, we were going to meet with them 3 times over a 60-day period. We got permission to record and have product answering questions, have sales answering questions, product marketing, of course. We had legal involved just to help us set up the incentive payment structure. And we really were able to learn the nuances of each payroll system, which allowed us to create very specific enablement resources for the teams. We picked up on, like, here are our VIP customers, here are the most important features that we really need to pay attention to building. We had videos and quotes for really energizing the teams internally, and we got quick feedback when we really needed it to inform decisions. During your launch, listen to hear. So you're going to leverage all the existing touch points you can and pay attention to what's working and what isn't. So again, like, as part of your go-to-market plan, where are all the places you can collect actionable data? How do you build the collection into your existing workflows? Make sure you have a way to circle back with people. Like, how are you going to respond to things that are public? And how are you going to synthesize the themes that you're hearing across all those channels? So we recently offered an upgrade. We had sales built pre-populated drop downs for acceptance reasons and rejection reasons, and so they were quickly able on calls to be able to check off boxes. We could get quantitative data around each of those things, why people were upgrading or not. Created a support tag for our support teams. We scanned review sites, app stores, social media for themes, and of course we looked at the product adoption and engagement metrics. Again, the key to success for executing this was like the buy-in of those teams. They needed to understand why we were doing this, why it was important, and we needed to make it easy for them that by building it into their workflows with the help of our RevOps. They had response plans, right? And so they knew how to respond to each of the objection reasons, for example. And we met weekly and said, what are we hearing? What are the themes that are happening? And it was a cross-functional meeting, where everyone could work together to sort of synthesize what we were learning. In this case, we used Salesforce and Zendesk, and we had, all the teams involved, again, not just product and sales. Hack 5, overshare. I want to encourage you to bring the whole organization along. This is about hearts and minds. So you're going to get feedback, quantitative data, right? To help you prioritize, help you make business case, validate your hypotheses and support decision making. But you're also going to be able to get the stories, help people understand the why, and build emotional connection to the work that they're doing. This is really important for like an engineer who's halfway across the world from the rest of your teams to like know why they're doing this work and kind of hear how they're solving a customer's pain. It's incredibly powerful, and it really brings meaning to their work and helps your culture overall. So what did this look like? In a subscription product we built, we publicized, what we were learning along the way in real time, good and bad, on Slack. We had Confluence where we could collaborate. We did the monthly report out. We included stories, video snippets on the all hands. We really used quotes and video recordings to bring things to life. Don't forget to get permission to do that. But it really helps build the culture of learning, being customer first, and again, having that sense of belonging. We also used, a video compilation for the board and to energize them. Post-launch, pick up the phone, right? Like I've talked personally to over 100 customers over the last couple of years. This is kind of the time in your launch where you're going to do more formal research, quantitative or qualitative, and stop, figure out your hypotheses, determine your research plan. Are you going to do quantitative? Or are you going to do qualitative? But actually talk to customers and prospects, and understand how your launch is going, their likelihood to repeat, pricing. At the end of the day, like the outputs you get from these one-on-one interviews and surveys are feature rankings for your roadmap, a sense of your pricing, a validation of your opportunity, and again, more quotes and stories, testimonials to help support your launch and your go-to-market assets. In one case, with our insights product at Funbox, we had sales do deep dives for 30 days. They spent a certain amount of every time just calling people who opted in or didn't opt in to an insights product that we were offering. And they had a few questions, and we got really targeted information for them. And finally, my final hack of the day is close the loop, get internal feedback too. So you want to do a formal cross-functional postmortem. It can just be a shared doc. And you may not need a meeting. It sort of depends if it's controversial or you need to dive into any areas in particular, but document it, learn from your experience so the next launch is better. Keep track of the customers and prospects who helped and you talked to so that you don't overuse them and go back over and over. Maintain a database of insights and customer insights and findings that are more broadly understood needs of your particular customer audience. So we've done this in Confluence. It's absolutely cross-functional, and we documented the participation of different interviewees and customers in Salesforce. So anyone who opened that Salesforce record always knew how many times we sought them specifically for deep dive interviews or paid them incentives for being a trial customer. So my question to you is now, what's your feedback on today's hacks, which were think ahead. So I want you to be intentional about collecting feedback in your go-to-market plan. Don't assume, get your quick feedback early before you build or as you're beginning. Leverage kill two birds with one stone by recruiting your test users and, having the opportunity not only for quick feedback, but also to take care of VIPs, build reference customers. Listen across every channel that you can for positive and negative. Overshare internally to really build hearts and minds around your launch. Pick up the phone and talk to customers, do your formal research, and close the loop, learn from your product launch itself. Questions?
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have a number of questions here for us to discuss. Let's start with the attendee questions. James is asking, what tools, if any, did you leverage to assist with the video compilation project and the overall aggregation of those testimonial pieces and other relevant insights?
Sure. So the tool I found most helpful for making video compilations is a tool called Descript, and Descript. And you can take your Zoom recording, enter it into Descript, and then you can highlight text and it'll create just that snippet. It'll also let you search. It's pretty powerful. It's definitely a great tool for creating little video snippets from recorded presentations. I'm a Google Sheets doc fan, so I keep track of testimonial approvals through Google Forms, and then I have a date stamp on approvals and things like that.
Yeah, I use Descript for my podcast editing. It's so good. Sean is asking here, did your test users have beta or GA product? I don't know what GA stands for here. And at what stage did you propose the tests?
Did my test users have
I guess like a beta access to the product you were launching, I guess?
Oh, so in our case, we just didn't do a big public launch. So remember how we were talking about commercial launch versus go-to-market versus product launch? For us, we always had to do them at the same time. So we had a formal in-production launch, but we might not have had public messaging or a landing page or a website up. So we were able to just use kind of a soft launch format to involve our test users.
Gotcha. Thank you. A question by, lost it now, Abhishek. He's asking, what's the best and worst product launch you were ever a part of, and why were they the best or the worst?
So I would just say in general, this is probably too generic, but the products that I had to sunset were, going back to that Steve Jobs quote, that the technology led the product launch as opposed to customer needs. And so we could build this great nifty thing, seem to make intuitive sense and solve a problem, but it wasn't really grounded in customer needs. And ultimately you don't get to product market fit. So that is the worst. And the best obviously is the flip side. It's the ones that are truly grounded in customer needs, like the upgrade product I was talking about had 65% opt-ins. Like it so met their needs, and it was grounded entirely in that.
Markia here is asking, how do you conduct a post-mortem on what worked or didn't work post-launch, what questions should we be asking?
Okay, well, you can do it in a shared doc. It doesn't need to be a meeting that you just invite two people to. I would just make a template. Again, like, don't reinvent the wheel. You can probably Google postmortem questionnaire and find it, but it's what worked, what didn't, what would you do differently? It's just a reflection on what went well and what didn't, and what you are going to do differently next time.
Ilke is asking, any tips on how to manage the volume of betas, interviews, research managed or initiated by multiple teams like customer success, product design, marketing, etc.?
Yeah. So I do believe it's a great place to have a centralized, it's a good idea to have a centralized place to capture all the activities that are happening. So again, I believe that insights do come from everywhere, and you should not hold anyone back from doing that. But if you have a central place where you have a process of how to do things, you have an opportunity for people to share, almost a repository, and a place where everyone knows what's going on. And the why would you do this? You don't want to confuse people. You don't want to do rework, right? So it does take some work to get the organization to buy into process, but this is important process, because the last thing you do is want 10 people going to the same customer and asking, the same thing, that you're going to wear them out. And so you take the extra time to build some process in to protect your customers and prospects.
And do you recommend any tools or repos for this?
Again, like I'm like quick and dirty, scrappy, just spreadsheet, shared spreadsheet, a Confluence page, whatever you can all collaborate on and access.
Awesome. Randi, thank you so much.
Thank you all. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
We'll survive. No worries. Everybody connect with Randi on LinkedIn, and I'll see you on the internet. Bye-bye.